Hello everyone, I am Rituja Joshi and I will teach you CCTP 1 CHP 110, that is Physical Chemistry for MSc first students. Now we are going to start section first. For our chapter is thermodynamics. Now what is mean by thermodynamics? Thermo is related to heat and dynamics, that is which is not static. Okay, so we can say that flowing heat or flow of heat. Flow of heat called thermodynamics, but thermodynamic also includes the different transfer of energies which are accompanying with different chemical and physical processes. Okay, so flow of energy accompanying with transfer different physical or chemical processes. This is studied in thermodynamics. What is the importance of thermodynamics then? Why we study thermodynamics? Actually, with the help of thermodynamics, we can check the feasibility of reaction. We are performing the reactions in lab, but before that we can check if the reaction is going to happen or not. That is feasibility of reaction. That feasibility can be checked out with the help of thermodynamic parameters like Gibbs free energy or entropy change. That will give us information about if reaction is feasible or not. Also, thermodynamic use in many of the branches, and like in automobiles, the engines of that automobiles operate on the principles of thermodynamics only. It has crucial role in many forms. Now, what are limitations of thermodynamics? Thermodynamics study the bulk properties actually, and it cannot be applied on single molecule or single crystal. It is used to study the bulk of material. Okay, this is the limitation. And second limitation of thermodynamics is that as I said before, the thermodynamics can tell us whether the reaction will happen or not, that is feasibility of reaction, but it don't tell us anything about the rate of reaction. Okay, that means if thermodynamics says that any reaction is going to happen, that it may be happen in 1 day, in 2 days, or maybe it will take several years, like nuclear reactions. So we can't say about anything about the rate of the reaction with the help of thermodynamics. This is the limitation. Now we will start with some basic terms involved in thermodynamics. The first is system. Now, what is system? System is the part of universe which we have selected for study. That part of universe is called as system. Our all calculation or all study will be concentrated around our system. If we say, I have a beaker of H2SO4 and I want to study it thermodynamically, then this beaker of H2SO4 will be our system. Now, second term is surrounding. What is the surrounding then? Out of the universe, we have selected a single part called system. Now, the part of universe except that system. If we say this is our universe, this is so small, but if we imagine this is our universe and this is our system, then everything else will be the surrounding. Okay, and system plus surrounding will become universe. Very straightforward. Okay, so this is system, surrounding, and whole thing is the universe. That means we have divided the universe in two parts. In case of thermodynamics, that one is the system and one is the surrounding. And our major interest is system. Okay, Now there are three types of systems. One is isolated system, second one is closed system, and third one is open system. We will discuss them one by one. First is isolated system. What is the isolated system? Such a kind of system in which there is no flow of heat or no flow of energy, no exchange of matter. That means this one is isolated system in which there is not possibility of exchange of matter or energy. Okay, that will called as isolated system. What can be the example of isolated system then? Our thermos flask is the example of isolated system in which we put the matter, that is our tea or milk, anything. It is in hot condition, and when after plenty of time we get it hot as it is. That means there is no transfer of thermal energy and not transfer of matter also, because it has lid, so the material inside the thermos will not leak outside. Okay, therefore no exchange of energy, no exchange of matter. This is the isolated system. Now second one is closed system. In closed system there will be exchange of energy possible. Exchange of energy but not matter. What can be the example of closed system then? Our tiffin box, normal tiffin box is the example of this closed system one, because in tiffin box we fill our food stuff. Okay, after some time when we put the food stuff in that, it is in hot condition, but after some time it becomes cold. That means thermal energy is transferred from tiffin food stuff to the surrounding. Okay, if we consider the tiffin box as a system, and but matter will not go outside or matter will not leak outside in the surrounding. It will remain in the tiffin box itself. That is the example of closed system. Now third one is open system. Open system, in that case exchange of energy as well as matter. Okay, in such a case we can exchange energy also and can exchange matter also. What will be the example? Our human body is the example of open system. Okay, we intake the food, that means exchange of matter is there, and also we can exchange energy. Now our next point of discussion is macroscopic properties. What is meant by macroscopic properties? The macroscopic properties are those which are used to study macroscopic systems. Now our system, in case of thermodynamics, our system is always bulk material, and it is macroscopic, visible to our naked eyes. So the properties which are associated with this bulk material or macroscopic systems are called as macroscopic properties, which will be that if we have a beaker of water, then we can tell its pressure, temperature, its viscosity. Okay, and its volume also. So these all properties can be called as macroscopic properties. Now next term is phase. What is meant by phase? So let's have an example. We have water and ice floating on the surface. These are ice cubes floating on the surface. Then now we can say there are two phases. How these two phases are? This is ice, we can see with our naked eyes, and water. We can separate out them by just seeing them. That is, they are physically distinct. And we can also separate these two from this mixture. So they are mechanically separable. We can strain the water and can get ice separated and water separate. So the physically distinct and mechanically separable part. Physically distinct and mechanically separable components are called as phases. Okay. Here are two phases. This will help us to clear the concept of homogeneous and heterogeneous system. Now what is homogeneous system? The system which contains only one phase. That system will be called homogeneous system, and the system containing more than one phases are called heterogeneous systems. Okay. As we have earlier example of liquid water and ice floating, that was the example of heterogeneous phase. But just the solution of KMnO4, it is an example of homogeneous system. Okay. Now state of the system. What is meant by state? State is nothing but any system. We take any system and we can say that it has pressure 1, its macroscopic properties like pressure 1, temperature T1, volume V1, so that we can assign the particular values of macroscopic properties for a particular state. So any state is bound by values of macroscopic properties. And if macroscopic macroscopic properties if changes, that is if we have again a water beaker and if we increase temperature, the values will change. Okay, P1 become P2, T1 to T2, V1 to V2. In that case, we can say that our system has changed from state 1 to state 2. The transformation of system from state 1 to state 2 happened. This is the state. Now the point is thermodynamic equilibrium. What is equilibrium? That means no change is occurring. Okay. We already have seen in the reactions like kinetics and all that for a rate of forward reaction is equals to rate of backward reaction, then we can say that the reaction is in equilibrium. Likewise, the system is in equilibrium if first one is thermal equilibrium. The system is in thermal equilibrium if there is no change in temperature. Okay. Again, next, system is in mechanical equilibrium when if there is no work done in the system, total work is 0 in the system, then we can say that system is in mechanical equilibrium. When this is possible if we take the pressure change 0. If we take pressure constant, then no PV work will be done and therefore the system will be in mechanical equilibrium. Okay. Next is chemical equilibrium. What is chemical equilibrium? If the composition, chemical composition of the system will remain the same with time, then we can say that the system is in chemical equilibrium. Okay. Now we will stop for a while and we'll see our next topics of discussion in our next lecture. Thank you so much for watching.